You must be really, really pleased and proud of this one, Jerry.
No, it's, when I was a kid, I used to go to the theater like every weekend. And this is the kind of movie we just made that I loved when I was a kid. It's big, it's exciting, it's romantic, it's funny, it's got amazing cinematography. We captured this world of F1. And you don't have to care anything about F1 when you see this movie, or racing, because it's an emotional story. It's like Rocky on steroids. It's that exciting. And the exit polls are phenomenal. 97% audience loved it. And the reviews are very good. So it's a movie that you got to go see. It's in a theater on the biggest screen. That's why we make them, to fill those theaters.
Yeah, I know. And Mike Del Tufo, our sound guy, you're going on Thursday because you want to go in a certain spot.
I have to go. I got to
go
to see it. And on the sound room,
yes,
I go
and
and watch in the sound room.
Right.
I go to one of my friends' places just to watch this.
Well, you got to pay for it, Mike. Don't say this. This man. I mean, you got to get box office receipts.
That's in watch. No. I go to with my friend because he's got a movie theater we go to that it sounds the best one, and that's where you got to go.
And it's really great. Jerry Bruckheimer here on the Rich Eisen Show. F1 is in theaters nationwide right now, and it's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who also did Top Gun Maverick.
That's right.
So how did this come about? Let's talk about the origin of F1, the movie. Jerry.
After we finished Top Gun, Joe Kosinski, our director, came to me and said, "I have this idea about making an F1 movie. I've been watching Drive to Survive, and they're focusing on the last place team, which is really kind of interesting." So he had conversations with Lewis Hamilton, who is a 7-time world champion F1 driver.
Nothing last place about him.
Right, because he wanted to act in Top Gun. But when Joe said, "I need you for 4 months," he said, "I have a day job."
Lewis Hamilton wanted to be in Top Gun Maverick.
That's right.
Do we know as what?
As one of the pilots, I'm sure.
Okay. Why not?
So, but that unfortunately didn't work out. So we contacted him. He said, "Terrific." And we had lunch with him. And we said, "We'd like you to produce this along with us." He jumped in. The next call we made was to Brad Pitt. And we have Lewis Hamilton. Here's the story. Brad said, "I'm in." We pitched it to 9 different studios. And Apple wanted to make the movie the same way Brad and Joe did, which is for real. They trained for 4 months in various cars. They started with a road car, open wheel car, F4 car, F3, and finally got an R car. I mean, these things are rocket ships. They really are. They mold the seat to your body. People keep asking me, "Jerry, have you driven one of these cars?" You've got to be kidding. It takes a champion F2 driver a week to figure out how to drive this car.
So Brad Pitt learned how to drive an F1 vehicle, is what you're saying.
That's exactly right. In fact, just recently he drove the McLaren 2023 car and got it up to 197. In the movie, he only got up to 180. But can you imagine?
So was that in the meeting you had with Brad Pitt? He said right off the bat, "I'll do it if I can drive," or you suggested
he said
it?
You got to do it for real. And Joe wanted to do it just like we did Top Gun. We had 6 cameras in the cockpit.
Yeah.
This time we got 15 cameras around the car, 4 at a time. It's phenomenal when you're in the car with him. And we showed it to the F1 drivers.
Yes.
We had a screening for them in Monaco.
Yes.
And they said, "It's the first time I've seen a movie where I really feel the experience that we have being in these cars."
And so Brad Pitt spent all that time learning how to drive this car.
Exactly.
And you wanted to make it as real as possible. And is it true you shot during down moments of actual Grand Prix weekends to shoot some of the scenes here in this film?
Yeah, we went to 9 different races and shot the crowds and everything. We shot the start, everything that in the race.
Yes.
Also, our car was on the track in between qualifying and practice. So in fact, Brad, the first time you really got in the car for us to film was in front of 140,000 people at Silverstone and 100 million people on TV to watch. And I'm sure he was nervous. Because you don't want to spin out. And
plus, you also have only one shot to to get this right? I mean, you can't just say, "Hey, can we do another take?" to the people at F1.
And we had like 6 minutes sometimes to shoot a dialogue scene in front of everybody. And so Joe rehearsed it for 3 days prior to us actually filming it.
So it's like you're shooting it live.
Yeah,
like you're shooting a film live is basically what you were doing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Have you ever done anything like that before?
Well, we did some in Days of Thunder, but nothing like this. This was just phenomenal, hitting all the. We had to go do it twice because we had 2 strikes. We shot 4 days. The actors went out.
Yes.
So the good news for us is Joe could shoot all the second unit stuff
during the strike.
The
you're
strike.
Talking about.
So
okay.
all the crazy stuff we did, he shot, and he went around. We went to every track and shot our stuff. We were in Japan, we were in Mexico, we were in Belgium, we were in Hungary, we were in England. It was a great experience. But you don't have to be an F1 fan or a racing fan to love this movie. It's a real character study. It's just so much fun.
Plus, you know, I know you've said that a couple times here, and I understand when you're doing something about a specific sport that you want to let everyone know that you don't have to be just a fan of this sport to be into it, but you're making this at a time where the F1 is as popular as it's ever been, certainly in this country as well, because one of the places you shot, if I'm not mistaken, was Vegas.
That's right.
Which was new. That was only... I mean, that's not like a regular track either. They had to create that out of whole cloth when you went and shot there.
That was the scariest for me.
Why?
Having Brad and Damson get in the car and race there, because there's no runoff. It's a street track. So if they make a mistake, they're in the wall. And I got to tell you.
I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, just because it's so unbelievable.
The happiest day for me on this movie was in Abu Dhabi. Mm-hmm. Brad did his last lap. He was done, and he climbed out of the car, and I was relieved. And it was his unhappiest day because he loved it. He loved driving those cars. Mm-hmm. They're exhilarating. The way they corner, they get down low, and they stick to the track. It's just amazing to watch it.
So I got to ask this. Do you still get nervous watching Tom Cruise do his own stuff? Or you're already through all that because you've been there, done that with him so much?
Every time.
Every time?
Of course. I mean, hanging out of that plane, Mission is a terrific movie.
Yes.
He hangs out of that plane. It must have been a 20-minute sequence. I think it took months to film it. Him hanging nuts. He doesn't have a fear, Gene.
No, I did see Brad Pitt and Cruise together at the premiere of the film, right?
Yes.
Did they talk about, doing own stunts or whatever, or just screw it? They're their own men and their own actors.
Brad said I wouldn't do anything in the air like he does.
Right.
I like to keep it on the ground with Tom.
But still, I mean, going 190 something miles an hour.
Yeah.
Huh. So you still get nervous when Tom Cruise does stuff?
Of course. He's a good friend. He's an amazing actor, and he risks his life on every one of the movies he makes.
So, do you work only with people who do their own stuff, Jerry? I mean,
no. We have actors who are more sensible, and make it easier on me, of course.
More sensible.
Sensible is a great word for it. Man, it is visceral. It is an experience, to say the least. F1 in theaters nationwide right now here on the Rich Eisen Show. Is it true that Joe Kosinski and Tom Cruise working on a third Top Gun right now?
Yes, we are in the process of figuring out another one.
Okay. And that's because of the success of Top Gun Maverick, or that was the plan going into Top Gun Maverick?
No, it's always about the success. When audiences love what we do, we try to come back and give it to them again.
Any sense of what the story is yet?
I can't talk about it yet, but it's a real good one.
Did you do Fight Club too? I don't know if that was an answer straight from Fight Club right there, but you can't talk about it because it's still in the lab, is what you're saying?
Sort of, yeah. We don't have a script yet, but we're close.
All right. So what else are you working on?
Tom wants to do another Days of Thunder.
He does.
Oh, let's go.
Did we talk about this the other day?
We did.
Yeah. It was the anniversary.
Well, the anniversary was last week. As you know,
35
Jerry.
years.
Yeah, 35 years.
It was 35 years on Top Gun, too. Exactly.
So is that why, or what?
No, we're just slow. We just didn't get a good script. It took us 35 years to get a good one on Maverick, and hopefully we'll get a good one on Days of Thunder.
Any chance Robert Duvall is in this as well? I know he's in his mid-90s right now, Jerry.
We love it. He's amazing. He's still in great shape.
Okay, so it's never say never from somebody in your position right now. So what is the scoop on that? Where are we on a new Days of Thunder?
We're still working on ideas on that one.
Okay. We were talking the other day, based off of this, what movie do you think deserves a sequel? Do you have one that deserves a sequel for you, Jerry?
Yeah, I have another National Treasure, another Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
Working on all those.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it because Johnny needs a new house in the Bahamas? Is that what it is?
I don't worry about Johnny. He's doing fine.
I heard he still dresses up as Jack Sparrow, either in hospitals or for kids that come by his house in the Bahamas. Is that true? That's what I heard.
No, he just did something, I think, in Spain where he dressed up and went to a children's ward of terminally ill kids.
Imagine that is amazing.
Yeah,
he does the full thing too, right?
Oh, he does the makeup, the whole thing.
Okay, so by the way, it's funny. We're sitting here, we're struggling. What movies could actually do that? And you're like, yeah, I got 2 of them. You're in the mix of doing all that. When will we maybe see this sort of thing?
Who knows?
Okay.
Soon, I hope.
That's the idea. Jerry Bruckheimer here on the Rich Eisen Show. You announced a draft choice for the Seattle Kraken.
Yes, that was a thrill.
Okay. So when did you learn about that one? When did you?
Well, I think we had a good draft. Based on the experts that I've read, that we had an A or an A- in our draft. So our guys did a great job.
Why get into sports ownership?
I love hockey. That's it. I love it.
You
it's
just
a great
love
sport.
hockey.
I played it as a kid, poorly, and had a game here in L.A. for 25 years until COVID, and then we started making this movie, and I've been out of L.A. for 200 days the last 2 years.
Right.
Racing around the world.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes.
Pretty much. And so you were there up on the stage, introducing a draft choice.
Yeah, wasn't that nice?
And what do you know about what do you like about the kid that you drafted?
He's really skilled. He's really a skilled player. Big and skilled. Now, that's what we need.
Now you're hands off, right? As an owner, right?
Of course.
You don't tell anody what to do.
No.
Or you hire the right people and you just let them do their thing.
We had Hans Zimmer do one of their themes, so that was nice. How do you like that?
Take that, James Dolan. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you in any trouble with James or anything like that, but that's pretty cool that you can basically reach out to Hans and say, give me a theme song for that sort of thing. Fantastic.
And the music on F1 is amazing.
Yeah, right.
The album, I mean, it's got Doja Cat, Chris Stapleton, and let me think, Tate McRae and Ed Sheeran. It's got a phenomenal soundtrack, Burna Boy. And it's international because F1 is international.
Do you have another movie? Give me another movie maybe of your that you wouldn't mind seeing another sequel to.
I have a couple. Gone in 60 Seconds and Crimson Tide.
Oh, yeah.
I was literally about to ask you about Crimson Tide.
Oh, my God.
I swear to God, I was literally about to say, what about Crimson Tide?
We have a really good director and writer talking with the Navy right now.
Oh, yes.
About what's going on under the water.
Okay. Do you have any idea who you would cast in Crimson Tide?
Not yet. Well, we have Denzel.
Yeah.
Would he, I mean...
If we give him a good script, I think he'd do it.
That is...
Yes.
I'm telling you, man, because I watched that movie back after Gene Hackman passed away,
right?
And the scene with him and Denzel when it's all going down is just
amazing.
Two
heavyweights.
That's the only. I know it's such an overused sports analogy when it comes to acting and film. The two of them going at it. Were you on the set when that was shot?
Of course.
Okay.
Look you had Tony Scott, a phenomenal director.
Right.
We had Quentin Tarantino and Robert Towne, two of the greatest writers in our business.
Yes.
And directors, writing on that movie and wrote scenes for that film. I don't know if I'll ever replicate that kind of writing for a film.
Right. But these guys, did they read it word for word? Did they ad-lib anything like that for that particular scene? Because that scene itself, where it's really all about to go down and Gene Hackman loses it, and Denzel makes his move.
It's amazing.
I will watch that over and over and over again.
The way Gene worked is he would sit with his wife over the weekend and memorize the whole week's script, his pages. And when he showed up on the set, he didn't like improv because he had it all memorized.
Okay.
And so he just dove into it, and Denzel dove into it too. Both of them really went at it.
Do you remember how many takes that scene took?
No idea. It wasn't much, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, because I mean, that's a crackling good
badass movie.
Yeah, for sure. So that's possible for a remake as well. I love it. I can't wait for it. And in the meantime, everyone go see F1. Unbelievable. Lewis Hamilton is in it.
He's in it, and was our advisor. I mean, this is the kind of things that we did on this movie. He would tell us, you're going into turn 3 at Silverstone. I'm hearing you're in third gear. I'd be in second gear. So we change it. He said, on turn 5, you can't pass. If you try to pass on turn 5, you'll have an accident. We used that. We had an accident on turn. I mean, we took all the little nuances, and everything in this movie actually happened in F1. So if the purists say, oh, this would never happen, you go back in time, it happened. Now, some of the stuff that we do, Sonny does in one race, might happen over a whole season.
Yes.
Because we have to condense time.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, we see people dressing up in uniform going to see the movie. They're wearing their helmets and
That's awesome.
suits. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's so cool.
Well, you got to love it. Fandom, right?
Yeah.
You know, the fan is short for fanatic, or root of fanatic. So you're saying you're shooting. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to pick up everything.
Okay.
Just put together all the pieces of what we just had a conversation. So you have such a limited time of shooting these race scenes. Because you're shooting in between, you know, in dead periods, right?
Yeah, practice and qualifying.
And you can't ask F1 for another take.
No.
The time is your time.
That's
you got it. And so Lewis Hamilton is giving you notes on what you're shooting in your limited time.
Right.
Based on what he's hearing, because he knows what a third gear and a second gear sounds like. And then in your maybe second crack of doing it one more time, that's how you do it.
Exactly.
Wow. That's unbelievable, Jerry.
No, it's one of the most accurate films about motor racing, especially F1. And the interesting thing that happened, it took us a year to convince F1 to do it, but it took us even longer to convince the teams. There are 10 teams, 2 drivers to each team. It's the only sport where your teammate's your competitor. And that's the story we wanted to tell. So during that season, Mercedes built our car, along with Joe, who helped design it. And that season, Red Bull and Mercedes were just going at it. They hated each other. So Red Bull, for sure, was going to be the villain in their minds. So it took us almost a year to convince all the teams that the competition is within our team, not against your teams.
Sure.
And we took them along every step of the way. What we did is we took footage from Top Gun and how we put the jets in, because we didn't have adversary jets. We took the F-18 and skinned in another jet. We took one of their races and put our car in their race. We skinned one of their cars. And we showed it to the drivers. We showed it to F1. Every time we did like a trailer, we showed it to the drivers first and the teams first. So we met with every team principal and every driver. It's not just me, it's Brad, Joe, and myself. And in London for 12 hours, I sat in a room with Lewis, our writer, Joe, Jeremy Kleiner, who works with Brad, and Brad, 12 hours just going through every single line of the script to make sure we had it right.
So Brad Pitt is part of the politicking and the arm twisting.
He was in there full force.
Like he was in the car.
Yeah.
How about that? F1, again, in theaters nationwide. Jerry, I always enjoy this time. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Rich.
Everyone go see this film. By the way, I don't know if you want to put it on a marquee. My oldest son, Xander, said, my heart was thumping out of my chest.
And he's a 16-year-old, right?
He is indeed. He's 16-year-old, about to be 17. He wants to see it again. So there you go.
It's one of those movies. It's emotional. It's funny. It's romantic. It's everything you go to the movie theaters for, because it's big, it's loud, but it hits you right here in the heart.
Right. He said it was thumping out of his chest is what he said. And he doesn't really watch F1 very much. He likes the Mecum car auction, but he doesn't really watch the F1. That'll be your next movie, right? I mean, what's next? You've done NASCAR, you've done F1. What is it? Funny? What are you going to do? Funny cars?
Hopefully another time. Well, we're working on something with Will Smith right now. So we'll see if that happens.
Anything you want to drop a hint on?
Not yet, but soon.
But it does involve wheels?
No wheels.
Okay, no.
There'll be chases in it. For
Okay,
sure.
there you go. It's a Jerry Bruckheimer film. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.